So today is like zoomed by. So what I was working on was fleshing out the characters for my project that I'm going to be working on for April. So I originally had some of the characters to be very different, and I figured out how some of them should be framed more. Get some ideas and goals for the characters. I used Save the Cat for this. At the beginning, there's like an activity and questions for what a hero should have in your story. Obviously, not all my characters are heroes in the story, but it's much easier to create a side character when they're the hero of their own story. So even if they're not the main character, if you develop them like they are the main character, then you're gonna have a more fleshed out. There's one character that I am just having issues with, and I think it's because he's the one that's shifted the most between the first draft and this draft. But he was originally gonna be like a star athlete, like a student kind of character. I still have to think about him. He's a little rough at the moment. I need to figure out what I love about his character, because he's flat right now. Yeah, so I have the fourth character. I'm trying to figure out what the heck he needs to do. He's wrong somehow, or maybe he's just not full enough. I don't know. I gotta think about him. Yesterday, I did not work on editing any chapters. Yeah, shush. I visited my family and I got to see my nephew. You are so loud. Yes. My nephew was at my parents' house, so I hung out with him and we went adventuring and outside and everything. So that was fun. So today I have edited a grand total of 3 pages. It is only 5:30 at this point. There's still like 10 pages left in the chapter, so I don't know if I'm going to edit the entire thing today. I might have to just take a mental break for today. I had a meeting with my school today about online learning stuff for how I'm going to teach that, and it turned out to be way more stressful than I thought it would be. So I just have a headache from all the tension and everything. So I think I might take a break for a few hours, maybe, I don't know. So I took a little break from writing. I went and had dinner. I ate my dinner outside on my porch, outside on the deck, because I wanted to, and I just sat crisscross applesauce out there and ate my food. And then I decided that I wasn't ready to write yet, so I've had this book, Learning to Breathe. It is by Janice Lynn Mather. I hope I pronounced that right, Mather. I was having trouble getting into it because it's more real life sort of story. It's about a girl who is pregnant. She's like a teenager and she's pregnant, and she like finds solace in a yoga retreat. Got this when I was doing like a Barnes & Noble browse a couple months ago, and I just bought a couple books that I thought I would be interested in. And this one sounded pretty interesting. It's out of the norm that I normally read, but I'm invested in this story now. It has some points where it switches to like past memory stuff that's a little jarring. But once you get used to it, it's fine. But this one's pretty good. I'm about, 100 pages in from here. So I took a break and read that for like an hour or 2 hours. And I haven't read in a while, so I'm glad that I finally did that. I edited a couple more pages, in my chapter, and now I have about, probably about 6 pages left of it. I just wanted to take a break from editing because this chapter is so long. It's a very long chapter. So I just wanted to take a break from editing to update you all. So I realized as I was going to bed that I didn't update from today. So I have decided that I'm going to do a bit of a schedule for my day, because at this point I am not working at school, teaching a full day. I am just teaching online. So my plan is that in the morning I'm going to work on lesson plans and like uploading and teaching stuff. I'll have to monitor email and everything until 3 o'clock, which is when I'm technically off work. Then in the afternoon, either relaxing or writing, depending on my mood for the day, and then writing in the evening as well. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of Camp Nanowrimo. So far, the novel that I'm editing, I'm pretty close to done. I've got 12 chapters I need to read through, but I think I only have 8 chapters that I actually need to edit. I will have to start writing on my new novel tomorrow. I'm still excited about it. I'm a little apprehensive about juggling both the editing of the novel and teaching and writing this new novel all at the same time. I don't imagine the editing taking the whole month, but the editing always ends up taking longer. Everything I do always ends up taking longer than I expect it to. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be the first day of Camp Nanowrimo. I am finished with writing for the day. My brain's kind of shut off. So I'm gonna take a break. I haven't written this much in so long, so I think I can give my brain a break today. And on top of writing for this novel, I came up with an interesting idea for a prologue for my novel that I'm editing, so I also wrote up that prologue. So I got 1,050 for today, which is pretty good. My goal for the end of the month is about 20,000 words. That's pretty feasible for me to get in a month. 20,000 words, that's less than 1,000 words a day. I just learned today we are out of school until April 30th. But this calendar has some dates for some write-ins and stuff. I know there's a few more write-ins that are going to be happening, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down how many words I get each day, just so I can keep tally, because I realized today that the days are just kind of slipping in together. So I'm hoping that by marking off the calendar, I'll be able to make things go just a little more smoothly. This is my No Face pen from Spirited Away, and today I got 1,050. Oh gosh, tried to write that looking at my screen. That one was rough, but there you go. One day down of NaNoWriMo. Here I go. Alright, so last night I got about 300 or so words written for my news story. It was quite a bit different from the first day, but I realized that some of the stuff I had typed up beforehand, so that was part of the reason why I had such a big number the day before. So far today I have edited 2 chapters of my novel, and at this point I have 10 chapters left to edit. 3 of those chapters are just chapters that I have to read through and do some short edits because I wrote them recently, and they there's no no huge changes that I need to make on them, like technical errors or whatever. So those are pretty good. I was actually really satisfied with this one that I just reread. I'm rereading them just to check them over and make sure they're good. But the one I just reread was actually really cool because I think it was a very good representation of the main character. I feel like I need to infuse some of the characteristics that the main character has in that chapter into other chapters just to make her more accurate to who she is. After I reread these, I'm only going to have 7 chapters left to edit. Just 7. That's it. 7. I've been working on this thing for months now, and the idea of being finished is really bizarre. I still have quite a bit of work to do. I'm not going to get this done probably at least for another week, maybe 2 weeks. I have a lot of time on my hands, so I should be able to do it, and then I'm gonna get it to beta readers. My sister has probably been not probably. My sister has been waiting to read one of my books for literally years. So I think she'll be at least a little happy to finally get her hands on a copy of one of my books. She's one of my first beta readers that's gonna get my book. And then I've got a couple other people that I'm thinking about asking, and then I'm gonna try and look on different websites and everything to get some beta readers. The reality of this is kicking in here. Huh. I plan on doing some writing tonight. I think there's a live write-in. Yeah, there's a live write-in at 7:30 today. So I'm hoping to get some writing in at that point. I need to really dig into this story. I was trying to write yesterday and it just wasn't working. And I really need to get into the mind space of this story in order for it to work. Because it's like a mood and a tone that's very specific. And I think once I get that in, I think it'll be good. Alright, so, excuse me right now because I'm in the bathroom, but I wanted to show you, let's see if I can. I dyed part of my hair purple today. You can see as evidence in my hands. I did wear gloves when I was doing it. I'm not all over myself. But that generally is what happens whenever I dye my hair myself. It's fine, because I'm not going to be seeing anybody for the next couple of days, so it's perfectly fine that my fingers are slightly purple at the moment. Once I got the editing done, I did a write-in with Brooke Passmore by the Brook, and I got 777 words, which is much better than I did yesterday. Still not fantastic, but I am okay with that level of writing. As long as I keep up that kind of mode, I will be on par to finish everything. So I'm going to get reading because I have been wanting... Hello? Hi, yeah. I have been wanting to read all day, but I haven't because I was just working on things and I dyed my hair. And I really want to read. I've started reading this series. It's an adult fantasy series. And I don't normally read adult fantasies, but it's Mercy. It's the Mercy Thompson series. It's by Patricia Briggs. It's categorized as romance, but it has romance in it, but it's more like a mystery sort of thing to me, or maybe even close to an like adventure story. I don't know. It's basically like urban fantasy, which is one of my favorite types of fantasy. I love urban fantasy. I think it's kind of like a not a guilty pleasure sort of reading, but it's a story that I'm kind of like I don't know how it will end, but I know like it's an easy read sort of story. I mean, the story's still entertaining and it's still kind of complicated, but it's like not a huge emotional investment, I guess is what I'm meaning by it. Because if it's a book that I've been wanting to read for a while, it's a bigger emotional investment. And I feel like right now I need some things that are like, sometimes it's just better to have a book that's kind of lighthearted or not as emotion heavy as a lot of the books that I read, because most of the time I read books that are pretty emotion heavy, and it's nicer to read stuff that's not. And it's the end of the week. I have done the first week of. I count Fridays as the end of the week because I'm a teacher and I don't work on weekends. But I made it past the first week of NaNoWriMo.